Welcome everybody to the first game of the Big Ten season right now of Penn State versus Rutgers. My name is Rudy and I'm joined here by my favorite Canadian, Doug FD. How is it going, Doug?
It's going pretty good, but I can only hear you half of the time. I don't know what that is, if that's just a Discord thing or not. But it's good to be here. Thank you for asking. We're getting some heavy jungle bands right now. Shaco, Sejuani, and Skarner. A few that I don't see too often in the ban pile.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty interesting so far seeing. I'm going to fix my Discord in the meantime. Not sure what was causing that. Hopefully I was able to fix that.
Still coming in super robotic to me.
Interesting. Hopefully it's not robotic for everybody else. Let me see if it's just...
Yeah, it might just be the noise gate on Discord. I don't know.
I'll leave and join real quick. See if that fixes it. All right. Any better?
So far, yes.
Okay. We'll see if that
was a small sample size. Let's see. Let's try to get this going. So, unsurprisingly, we get so many jungle bands. We have 4 jungle bands. So, it's going to be Dogbrain locking in Zach right away to get his priority in the jungle. Obviously, that'll be probably Sayonara playing that Zach. Unless, Zach support. We've seen some weird tanks play support recently, particularly in China. So it's possible.
Or you saw what happened over in Vietnam with the Gigabyte Marines when they went with the Ornn Scion with Smite bot lane.
I missed that. I have seen the Chinese Alawi versus Ornn support bot lane.
Yeah, I remember I was looking it up. I believe they put Scion with Smite, who actually went and took a camp first, died while taking it. But that allowed him to actually take that camp and...
Well, no, it's a classic Scion strat. Yeah, dying to a camp, level 1. So glad Riot's bringing that back.
Well,
we are going to see another classic here. Lulu Kog'Maw, the Juggermaw comp starting to come out. But on the other side, Tristana Janna, another pretty safe late-game scaling lane. Janna a little bit more abusive now with her rework, actually W-maxing, kind of the main thing. Where you just put all your points in W and spam it on cooldown because it costs 50 mana no matter what. So you just click their face and it adds up over time. Gets kind of obnoxious. It'll be a beautiful Korean. Gonna be taking Rek'Sai into the jungle. So they're finding their jungle champs despite the bans. And now we're gonna see some more focus on the mid lane with everything locked in, the jungle and bot lane, sorry.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see a lot of these mid lane bans go through because I remember from last year when we used to cast a couple of the Rutgers games, Shrew would just go off on a lot of these mid lane carry champions, most especially the Orianna, and that's why it was banned the first round through. And of course, I'm no surprise that the Malzahar is getting banned. He's an extremely good playmaking champion. His ultimate's always going to be relevant no matter what stage of the game you are at. So no surprise that they're taking away that from Shrew, but Rutgers doing what I expected, just last picking, allowing that counter pick in the mid lane.
Yeah, the mid lane for the mid lane meta in like Korea right now is Ryze, Azir, or Malzahar. Like that's you get one of those 3. So Malzahar's off the table. So could we see just Ryze, Azir right now? Just do it.
Yeah,
make it classic.
Okay. But
well, one team gets Ryze, the other gets Azir.
Tempo. He has been practicing the Azir quite a bit lately, so I'm really excited to see him pick that champion and see how he's going to do on it. And as we see the Nautilus going to the top lane, classic tank going up there, and against the Gnar, he is going to have a little bit of a rough time, but I think he should be fine as long as he's able to get the items that he needs.
Yeah, Nautilus is not one of the big tanks we really see in the top lane right now. I think he's a little bit more abusable because of how reliant his engage is on landing CC like through minions, as opposed to Maokai who can just walk up and press W.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit trickier against champions like Gnar to get onto them. But it is going to be an Aurelion Soul. This is one that's come back into the flavor quite a bit as well. It's not Malzahar or Ryze, so it's a little bit down the tree. But Shrew, we know, as you said, he's a capable player, and I trust his picks. And Aurelion Sol is one of the few mid laners right now that almost guarantees action to some degree. He'll just shove mid and then go somewhere else to fight, which, when the alternative is, Malzahar, Azir, shove fest. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how a couple of first minutes is going to go, especially with that Aurelion Sol. We know Huhi in the LCS and at Worlds made it classic of just shoving to get it in very early 2 and then just roam down to a lane to get a very early first blood. And I want to see if Shrew's going to do something similar. Of course, it does take a lot of coordination with your team to do that. It's still a pretty tough thing to do, but I'd love to see some playmaking there on that Aurelion Sol. But see, this is a matchup that I'm not sure on, Aurelion Sol versus Azir. I feel like it might be pretty tough for Aurelion Sol to get into range of anything with like having to dodge the Sand Soldiers, wearing Azir's positioning as well, and then just trying to farm up with your stars. It's going to be fairly tough for him to farm up in this lane.
This is a matchup I have not seen specifically these two against each other, but obviously they're both known for hard shoving. Basically starting from level 1, they both just have W and turn it on. And then the wave is gone starting from level 1. So seeing Azir up against Aurelion Sol will be when Aurelion Sol's biggest strength to enable his roaming is that hard shove is potentially interesting. But the fact that Shrew picked Aurelion Sol into Azir, I still think means that Aurelion Sol should be able to get those shoves. And particularly with a high playmaking power jungler in Rek'Sai, who, can punish Azir who shoves too hard. You have that option to keep tempo down and make sure, he's a little bit hesitant to at least shove too hard, as well as help enable Aurelion Sol to roam to the side lanes, which is probably mostly bot. Let's be honest. Yeah. This is still a bit of a roam bot meta.
It's always going.
We got the teleports in the top lane. I do believe, it's going to be 2 teleports here. No Ignite, Unsealed Spellbook shenanigans coming out just yet. So they're going to be start and teleport from level 1, which enables potential bot lane plays from that first minute. Though that's rare. Level 1 teleports I have not seen too much of.
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's kind of hard to see the summoner spells just because of the bug that's been in the Spectator client for a long time. It's hard to fix this.
But teleports might heal, exhaust.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it looks like that Penn State here is going all in on the sustain bot lane and playing very defensive, trying to get that Kog'Maw up into that hyper carry potential. While on the other side, Tristana is the one with the heal, and that makes me feel like, are they going to go with the classic start now of picking up that Relic Shield and just trying to farm out? But
sure both sides will do Relic Shield, Fleet Footwork, Overheal. Yeah. I'm almost positive they will both do that. That is just the meta right now, especially with supports like this who have the shields and can enable a little bit of extra safety. It's just like you almost just lose lane if you're not a heavy poke lane against a Relic Shield. Like if the other guy goes Relic Shield and you don't have like Xerath to poke through that, you pretty much lose lane.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll both do it. There is room for press the attack or something where you can give up a bit more in the lane and then look to do more damage later game. Or like lethal tempo for something on Kog'Maw potentially. Kalista does like lethal tempo, of course. So there's room, but my expectation is 2 Relic Shields, 2 Relic Shields from the 80 carries.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's what it's most likely going to be. And as we get into the loading screen, we get a good peek of what the Masteries or I guess Runes. Masteries are gone now, so just the Runes coming in. Yep. Just want to give a warning to Doug, though. I know you're a big Penn State fan. You love them so much, but you got to be a little biased here. We got to be able to show off Penn State and Rutgers.
Right. No, you're right.
Just wanted to give that warning out to you because we know everyone here knows of how much you love Penn State.
That's correct. Look, I mean, I think it says it all when one team has their entire clan in their university clan and the other team doesn't. I mean, that's self-explanatory, really.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What is Rutgers doing? That's the real question.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a little bit of miscommunication at the beginning, but we're going to get underway with this game. A little bit of a pause in the beginning, but that always happens with the new Spectator client. But there we are. We're going to get in for the first game of the BTN series, Penn State's first ever BTN ULAL game. And it's going to be an exciting one as we have Penn State on the blue side, Rutgers on the red side, matching their colors for their schools as well. So I'm really excited to see how this one goes. But like you said, Relic Shield on the bot side, but we're going to have the refillable potion on the side of Tristana. So they're going also all in on the sustain comp.
Yeah, definitely the refillable potion actually a little bit greedier because you obviously have that less sustain from the first back, but it gives you more gold efficiency over the course of the game, if you get pushed out at level 3, then you're going, oh, darn. Another thing to note is we are actually really on the low end of stopwatches right now. Just 3 players out of 7 have stopwatches, when the average is like 5 or 6 in Korea right now. So a little bit behind the curve in NA, as is standard.
But for some reason, like I don't understand too much on the support. Like it's always gonna be great. Stopwatch is always gonna get used. But the best part about that is being able to upgrade that into one of the 3 other items. And I don't see Janna picking up a Zonia's.
No, she won't. But it's still, I believe it sells for 120 gold, so
it's for just free gold.
It is free gold when you sell it, and there is that basically prevent a tower dive situation where, you can turn a play like that, or you can even, as we saw in Korea, enable an absolutely bonkers tower dive where 3 different players tank aggro and then drop it on the last hit with stopwatch, getting out all alive. So there's plenty of room to make plays with the stopwatch. Okay. Which is why it's just so popular right now, and it turns on so soon. I think 6 minutes.
6 minutes is when it turns on.
Yeah. There's just so much potential to make like a game-changing play with it, and then you sell it for 120 gold. That's not too bad.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could sell it for. I wasn't sure of what the sell price was, and 120 free gold for a support is always going to be great. Yeah. So. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense now when you say it like
Doesn't
that.
quite compare to Boots, which is 350 free gold plus 10 movement speed, but it's probably the best in that tier for sure. Yeah. The other is Minion Dematerializer, and then I can't even remember what the other one is.
I sadly don't really know the runes.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking wrong one. It's Hex Flash or I can't remember.
Well,
or biscuits. But Janna, I mean, with Frost or with Spell Thief's Edge, they pretty much have fine mana sustain as is. So, yeah, everyone loves stopwatch. That's the point.
All right, that sounds great. Ooh, I just knocked everything off my table there as I accidentally hit it over. But oh well, I'll fix that later. But we're going to see Rutgers pull off to an early lead, and this is just coming from a bit of farming. Topside, we were even saying how Nautilus is going to have a little bit of trouble against this ranged Gnar, and it's showing how he's already about 7 CS behind. Granted, we did see the wave kind of start to pile up there, so he has an opportunity of catching up.
Yeah. One thing I am a bit interested in is I believe it was Janna who went Guardian, so it went the defensive tree. But first of all, we got some fighting in the jungle.
Yeah, Beautiful Korean was coming here for invade on a Sayonara, forcing the flash away as the bot lane from Penn State was going to show up. So that is a flash on the jungler, and usually it's not too bad, but when the jungler is Rek'Sai, that's actually a really big summoner spell because the flash engage from the Rek'Sai knockup is just really strong. So seeing him go for that very risky invade there was kind of surprising.
Yeah, definitely. When they're that pushed in and the collapse is just so potentially imminent there, I think really he was just anticipating Sayonara not being there because very few people go Krugs at this point in the game, especially on tanks who have a bit of a slower clear at this point in time. Focus more on the high traffic camps. Oh yeah, we can see the shoving here of Shrew. He's getting beat up a little bit by Tempo there, but he just keeps W on, but Sayonara's in the mid as well.
Great jump in there by Sayonara's. They're going to lock him down, but is it going to be enough damage here? Tempo trying to see how much damage he can do with the Sand Soldiers, but it's not going to be quite enough as he's going to be able to get away from that. But still, it's going to give Tempo that pressure now in the mid lane to farm relatively safe because he was getting beat up by Shrew, like you said, and he's been having a rough time farming.
Yeah, we are going to see Dogbrain have to recall now. Obviously has the TP, so it's not too bad. But he's about 10 CS down onto best Ken and NA. Is a little bit more fighting in the jungle, but I don't know if either of those two are going to kill the other.
No, I don't believe so, especially when the mid laners were coming in on that. So no surprise that they're backing off here. But yeah, back in the bot side, just the farm fest going on. We'll have to see if in the long run, if that sustain difference is going to be relevant. But as we said, that Beautiful Korean is actually bullying out Sayonara, and that's really big right now. We already see the experience difference as it's a full level of Beautiful Korean being up. So these invades, even without the flash, are being very successful.
Yeah, and this time supported immediately by Best Ken and NA, who had pushed in his lane, had the freedom to walk in there, you know, as opposed to having to burn the flash last time. Definitely good pressure there by Beautiful Korean. I mean, that's just the mismatch, really, between someone like Zach, who can be really tough to jungle right on those first 4 levels or so, and then the Rek'Sai, who obviously has pretty good clear from the start and strong dueling power, especially after that first back, as the Skirmisher Saber, a little bit of extra kill threat. So definitely good on him to abuse that mismatch right now, as Best Ken and still hasn't backed in the top lane, which is interesting. You know, he's trying to keep Dogbrain down as much as he can, but when you get a free back from Dogbrain, you burn the teleport and you had the lane pushed up, you know, basing and spending that money to, you know, make this difference between them even bigger is usually very important. So he's almost given up a little bit of harass potential on Dogbrain. Getting hooked under tower.
Yeah, he's actually going to have a rough time. Look at that damage he's actually putting there. I didn't expect Best Ken in there to do that much damage to Dogbrain. And this is without a back. This is just that Doran's blade that he has.
Yeah, this is an Airy Gnar as opposed to something like an Unsealed Spellbook Gnar. So Airy obviously can provide a lot of damage when you can just keep putting out those auto attacks. Be very abusive against someone who cannot answer that with any real ranged power. Now we're going to get fighting over some wards here. Shrew's on the way.
Yeah, Shrew's on his way here, but the rest of the team from Penn State's on his way, but they collapse onto them. The ultimate coming out from Tempo, not going to really do too much. Gated just putting in a lot of damage, though. He doesn't have the ultimate, so he's not going to be able to try to snipe anybody but here. But we're not going to see anybody come in. Dog Dream going in. Is it going to be enough? Because Best Kennon's going to be able to show up. He had that teleport advantage. Gated is not going to be long for this world. Actually going to be able to flash away, so he's going to be fine. But that was a lot of fights going on, a lot of summoners blown. Penn State looked like they got the worst for wear, but they didn't lose anybody yet. Beautiful Korean going to get jumped on. A Sayonara to pick up the kill. He will get first blood in that 1v1 against the junglers, and that's pretty massive because that means that the Infernal Drake now is not an option for Rutgers.
Yeah, and that's so crucial too, because Best Cannon NA was actually the one who TP'd down to make that play, but the kill goes the other way. Sayonara picking it up as Beautiful Korean just goes a little bit too aggressive, trying to keep up that pressure when he didn't have the support from his team. Good warding there. We see, honestly, both teams have put down a lot of vision into that jungle, recognizing it as a high traffic area, but Sayonara recognizing he could snipe out Beautiful Korean there on the backside of that fight and picking up the first blood after a lot of skirmishes leading up to that final first blood.
Yeah, like you said, really long skirmish there. Kind of surprised of anything that happened. But I feel like if Rutgers would have just backed out there and took the dragon, they would have 100% won that fight and been in a great spot. But now Beautiful Korean is going to continue this, but he does not have his ultimate. He is completely by himself, and Tempo's on his way as well. Can he get over the wall? Doesn't look like he's going to follow, as Dogbrain is just going to chunk out Beautiful Korean, as they're still going to try to steal his blue buff. I guess with the smite, you're going to be able to take it pretty easily. But he did take a lot of health for it, but all in all, blue buff steal was successful, and that's going to be a blue buff not on Tempo then.
Yeah, I think just with where Shrew was, they honestly could have committed on that a little bit harder and potentially burst out Beautiful Korean, but obviously with Sayonara not even in the area, the restraint is the safe way to play it, so it's hard to fault them for that. But ultimately, despite that first blood, we do see a lead here for the other side right now. 700 gold up at the moment, and that's obviously entirely from farm, primarily this bot lane, I think.
Yeah, it seems like the biggest differences is actually
even
almost
jungle
everywhere. Jungle is the biggest one right now. If it wasn't for that first blood, Zach would be behind by about 700 gold right now. He's roughly 300 at this point, which is still a kill's worth of gold. But if Beautiful Korean didn't get caught out there at the end of that skirmish, this could have been a lot bigger. It would have been around that 700 mark, and it would have been over 1,000. Actually, it's right now about 1,000 gold lead for Rutgers going into the 10-minute mark. So this is still looking pretty good for Rutgers, even though they did overstep a little bit after that fight.
And now it's also, you know, 3 shoving lanes right now, which is one of the reasons we see Beautiful Korean in Sayonara's jungle so much. Because it's Aurelion Sol in the mid lane, it's Gnar against Nautilus, and then it's Tristana bot lane. You can't really outshove these lanes, especially with what they brought. So, you know, most of the action is not going to be Beautiful Korean in the lanes itself. It's going to be Beautiful Korean on objectives or just in Sayonara's jungle. Infernal Drake is on the table, which makes me think they will definitely look towards that soon, and they may even be starting it as I say that. Because Infernal's definitely one you want to prioritize.
Yeah, Infernal's always going to be big, especially when you have a comp like this where you have the Tristana on it. But Beautiful Korean going to come in. Teleport is going to be on the other side of the Dragon Pit, so Penn State really wants this as Tempo is going to try to jump on Shrew, but all the hooks are going to be missing. But Penn State, they have 5 here. They could go for this Dragon, and that means Rutgers either has to commit a 5v4 or just back off and try to get top tower. It looks like it is going to be the latter, but Rutgers not going to completely... They're not going to completely give this up, though. They were trying to poke them out, and Dog Dream getting quite a bit of damage down. The Dragon will finally go down, but what is it going to cost them? The stuns come through. Rutgers is not going to fully commit at this point, but they did waste a lot of time while being there poking, and that's going to mean that the top lane pressure is going to continue, and Best Cannon A might be able to take this tower, maybe not with this way, but the next.
Yeah, I think they're okay trading this tower right now. That was probably going to be a tower that was going to go down anyways, just with how disparate the Best Cannon NA versus Dogbrain lane has been so far. But yeah, that was honestly a little bit of a misplay. Unless they get mid lane here as well, which I would totally give that over to Rutgers. But I would say, yeah, they're actually going to get this, I think. So honestly, Rutgers making the best of that right now, despite the fact Best Cannon NA did not have the teleport to join that when they started that play.
Yeah, the one thing that was really good about them poking at the Dragon is that not only did it delay how long it was going to take them to take that Dragon, but now they were low, they had to back, and they got 3 towers off of that Dragon play right there. So although it looked a little weird at them just trying to poke out and leave, it looked like they were not wanting to fully commit to the 5v4, completely worked out in their favor because they got 3 towers off of that.
I'm not 100% willing to give the bot lane tower full credit for that Dragon play just because it was Tristana. And you could see that they were going to get that tower no matter what. That was still a 2v2 lane at that point. Gated and Junrei were both full health. So that was just, you know, the power of those matchups right there. So they would have gotten that one no matter what. But absolutely, 3 towers in quick succession, giving up an Infernal Drake. And you still have the teleport on Best Cannon A, who will swap bot and potentially look for a Rift Herald play to get even more towers. That is just clean play. And they don't have a kill yet, but it doesn't matter because they're 4K up right now. You know, clean macro for this level of play. Very nice.
Yeah, this has shown the experience from Rutgers being able to play in a full season of BTN last year. Yeah, Penn State played in ULaw, but it's a lot different when you play in a pool of 10 teams and a pool of roughly 100 or so. I don't know how many there were, but Junrei going to get caught out there, and that's going to go over to One Dog, One Dream as they're trying to get gated as well. Is the stun going to come out from Shrew? The knockback will be, but today the damage is in the bot lane. We have Dogbrain versus Best Cannon NA, and this is not looking too good for the Nautilus. As we see in the top lane as well, Gated got pushed out of that lane, and they're going to go for even more structures at this point. Tempo going to try his hardest to protect this tower, but it's going to be extremely tough as they're threatening 2 tier 1s at the same time.
Dogbrain, he just almost backed. Actually, Best Cannon NA will take a couple too many tower hits there to completely threaten the dive. Maybe keeping Dogbrain safe a little bit longer, but still with that Black Cleaver and the transformation threatening, giving Best Cannon NA a little bit more health when he hits that. Dogbrain certainly looking a little bit scared right there. And what's interesting here is Dogbrain is going, as far as I can tell, for that Thornmail first item, but he did not pick up the Bramble Vest to get a little bit of extra on-hit damage, or, you know, on-hit for whenever Best Cannon A hits him, takes damage, which, with how frequently Gnar auto-attacks in a matchup like this, is a bit interesting. So, going for the more defensive option in the Warden's Mail to slow Best Cannon NA's attack speed, as opposed to actually trading some damage back, which, you know, I'm not entirely sure where Bramble Vest stands since its most recent nerf, where it does more damage based on your armor. That may be just what you have to do, but certainly it's not nearly as good as old Bramble Vest would be in this matchup.
Yeah, old Bramble Vest is just stupidly strong, and you would always max
little obnoxious.
If you were ever against an AD top laner, you just got it every single time. You didn't have an option. That's what you
Anyone
got.
who just, like, auto-attacks by default, like, even Darius, who's heavy on spells, can still get it.
Not looking good here for Dogbrain. Flash forward by Best Cannon A, but the flash is going to fall by Dogbrain. Mid lane Tempo being pushed out by Shrew as well. But no one's going to die just yet. But Best Cannon A was able to get quite a bit of health and come back. Maybe just found some of the fruits in the jungle, but he was able to stay alive there.
Absolutely. Now the Bramble Vest comes in, so he is still going to pick that up. Could give him a little bit of an extra assistance in this lane, but it might be a bit too late. This is a 30 CS lead for Best Ken in A right now. Looking very strong. Obviously has the full Black Cleaver completed. Going for his own armor item. Not sure exactly what he's going to be picking up now. Probably a Thornmail against Gated's Kog'Maw would be the best option. Maybe... Actually, a Frozen Heart would be stretching it for a non-mana champion. So Azir or Kog'Maw is the type of team you take Frozen Heart into. We'll see exactly where it goes.
That's the fourth tower now for Rutgers, as Penn State's still trying to get their first one. They actually haven't even been able to really touch Rutgers towers, and this is just showing how good the comp is from Rutgers, being able to shove here. And that's one of the drawbacks of picking a Kog'Maw comp, is that you are going to be on your tail for the beginning of the game, and Rutgers is not slowing down at all, as they're going to jump on a Dog Brain. Ultimate on the Gnar going to come in. Sayonara going to try to come in to protect his top laner, but it isn't going to be enough. He brings the team with him, so this could actually be good. Both top laners are now down, as Tempo's going to drop onto Shrew. A lot of damage onto that Azir, but he's not going to drop, as here comes One Dog One Dream. Really far back. Sayonara going to lock him down. Is that going to be enough for the kill? The stopwatch going to protect him for now, as he's going to drop. Tempo is going to be able to pick that one up, as that's going to be another kill going over to Junray this time. Shrew barely able to get out alive, but that's a 3-for-1 in favor of Penn State. This is exactly what they needed to try to come back.
This is a super common thing for teams that are just doing so well like Rutgers is they just push the pace a little bit too far. You know, I was just about to talk about how I think you're right. You know, look, definitely in hindsight, looking at these two team comps, I think Penn State made an error with picking 3 lanes that get shoved in, and then a tank jungler like Zach, who can't really make plays in the super early game when threatened by someone like a Rek'Sai. And then Rutgers just goes and tower dives too far unnecessarily. They got the outer 3 towers of Penn State before even getting a kill. They don't need to fight with this team comp. They shove so hard. They pressure so well in the jungle. They don't need to tower dive against someone like an Azir, against Lulu, who makes it so hard to snipe out a target like the Kog'Maw. So they give a little bit back. They are still 4,500 gold up, so they are still doing just fine. But dial it back a little, Rutgers. You got a good strat going, just don't change the playbook.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they are doing fine, but the one thing we have to keep in mind is once this gold lead starts to become less and less relevant, that double Infernal Drake will become more and more relevant. So they still have to try to keep up the pressure. They have to realize, hey, we're still ahead. We can't allow them to get back in this game, and they have to keep the pedal to the metal, but just not go too far, like you said. So if they could keep the pace that they were doing before that tower dive, I feel like Rutgers still has this one.
You know, if there's any AD or a marksman to give double Infernal Drakes to, Kog'Maw is probably the best option, just because he benefits from pure AD a little bit less than the rest of the marksmen. He still definitely benefited from it. You don't want to give too much extra ability power to Azir for free, but ultimately there's not a lot of champions on this team that benefit from it. I think the biggest thing is denying it from the Tristana on the other team, who is definitely someone you don't want getting extra ability power or extra AD, when that would also buff the Janna shield as well, which gives 50 AD late game. The potential for One Dog One Dream to have scaled out of control with a few Infernal Drakes is probably more of a saving grace than actually getting it themselves.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. And one thing to keep in mind too, Kog'Maw didn't pick up any of those kills. Granted, he now is going to be able to get that Rage Blade going, so he's now going to probably be working on to getting the Hurricane as well. And once that's up, Kog'Maw's online. He's going to have decent wave clear. He's going to be able to have a lot of damage. Sayonara are going to jump in. He's a lot of teammates behind him, so they're going to be able to jump on this as they're going to catch up. Beautiful Korean, but a nice ultimate from him is going to get him safe, or almost out of it, as Gated is going to be able to pick up a kill. That's 2 kills now on the side of Penn State, as they're finding the picks that they need to there. And it looks like Rutgers, they find someone out of position. They want to go on them, but then Sayonara just comes in from off screen and is going to completely change that fight.
I think that was just great recognition there by Penn State. Reizu on Janna was in the bot lane supporting Best Ken and AD. That is your disengage against the Zac. Now, Great is getting caught out a little bit here, though.
Gated is going to get blown up. Best Kennen picking that kill up, and they're going to continue. The ultimate, though, not going to quite hit Sayonara, but they're going to actually be winning this right now. It's roughly a 3v4 as the Nara's going to go in. He's going to get locked down. Tempo not going to get out as Reizu is going to be able to pick up that kill. Best Kennen will be able to survive. That's not going to be Nautilus keep going, but that's two very low members. He does not want to go in on that. And that's just going to be a 2 for 0 now from Rutgers to come back into this and completely stop that push. Penn State almost able to get their first tower, but not quite yet.
Classic casting, too. I was just about to say, Reizu was in the wrong place at that time. It's all his fault, the game. Then he goes, perfectly recognizes Penn State is pushing a tower with like 2 minions left, walks up behind them, ults them under the tower just as the minions die, setting up One Dog, One Dream to pick up. I guess he just got 1 kill there, but probably another assist as well. They get 2 kills back. They stop any push, keeping Penn State at 0 towers. So, solid redemption there from Reizu after the misplay to be the disengaged support in the bot lane against someone like a Zac who, you know, you'd usually want to be next to your Aurelion Sol, next to your Tristana when there is a Zac on the other team, and a Nautilus as well.
Yeah, it's very, just, it seems uncharacteristic because we were saying this entire time. Rutgers was doing well and they would just overstep in 1 or 2 spots. Penn State, who was actually playing on the back foot, playing fairly defensively, being able to stay alive in this game and not give up too much, then just overextended right when they had the first opportunity to pick up a tower. So that's something that we now have to keep in mind. 5k gold lead still in the same with Rutgers. They're still massively ahead of this game. Behind in Dragons, behind in kills, but that 4-0 towers is just too daunting at this point, and Penn State still needs to play safe.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's out of this game yet. You know, it's a Kog'Maw Azir. Certainly the late game power is going to be there, especially with Sayonara on Zac, someone who should outscale the Rek'Sai. But yeah, they can't go too far, too fast. They're still in the hole here, about 8,000 gold. You know, they could stall on these second-tier turrets or inhibitor turret in the top lane as long as Rutgers is willing to let them. And we know they can turn tower dives. Rutgers isn't that far ahead, you know, especially with someone, again, like Azir and Lulu who can turn tower dives very, very well. So they're okay right now, but they still got a bit of a ways to go before they really get in that. Hurricane's coming in soon for Gated, but we're going to get a fight here.
They go in a fight before they get that, but a great ultimate coming out from Tempo, hitting 4 members, and they're also behind the Sun Disc as well. Is it going to be enough as One Dog, One Dream is going to be able to pick up a kill, but that's going to be a trade as Beautiful Korean also drops. So jungler for mid laner, who's it going to work out for as Dogbrain wants to try to get this fight. Great knockup by Reizu to stop the engage from Sayonara, and this is looking really good for Rutgers now. Gated trying to kite as best as he can, but he's not going to be able to do it. Well, no, he actually kills One Dog, One Dream. Did not expect that as he gets a double kill. He's still alive as he's going to fight this. I thought Rutgers had that in the bag, but Gated out of nowhere able to defend that. And this is the perfect timing too, because the 3rd Infernal Drake just came up too. This might be a little too risky as Sayonara is forced to back off, so they're not going to go for it just yet, but I thought Gated was dead to rights there. Somehow was able to turn that one around.
Second rule of zombie hunting, always double tap. Everyone except Best Kennen and One Dog, One Dream, assumed Gated was dead. So they just let One Dog, One Dream finish him off. But Gated had the damage to get that 1v1, then turn around and get 2 more kills. This is going to be the first Infernal Drake going over to Rutgers anyways, because as you said, there were some low health bars. But starting that all off, we were talking about how Rutgers' one flaw so far was the tower dives. So Tempo's like, hey, I'm going to just create a tower dive situation. Shurima shuffled in, placed the tower as he Azir ulted them under the tower, which he just created at that moment. It was a beautiful play. But unfortunately, we really did see that they just weren't there in the items yet. We did see Gated still didn't have the Runaan's Hurricane, and they were actually losing that fight despite that great initiation until they left Gated alive. Just a massive misplay there by Rutgers to assume the Kog'Maw was dead, and it turned against them. But now we're starting to get there. Gated has the Runaan's Hurricane. Tempo has finished that Morellonomicon for extra ability power and CDR. And they're getting to a situation where they can actually win team fights with amazing initiations like that. But I don't know how often you can do something like that in one game.
Yeah, that was there was a lot of members there doing a lot of plays. Like you said, Tempo with the forced tower dive, hitting the ultimate onto 4 people. Reiju with amazing Janna knockups, able to completely stop any engage that was coming out from Penn State. And here comes Best Kennen, going to get a dog brain, but that's going to be Tempo getting really low. Gets the Emperor's Divide out just in time, so he's going to leave for now as Beautiful Korean actually just taking Gated, trying to get another kill, but that's actually be One Dog, One Dream. Finally able to take that one as he's going to jump around, going to get the kill on a Junrei as well. That is now 3-4-0 in favor of Rutgers, and it's not going to end there. Dog Brain is not long for this world, I feel like, as Shrew is going to chase him down. There it's going to be. Shrew picks that one up. That's going to be a 4-0. Sayonara being the last one alive, but he's not going to be able to stop this Baron push, and this is going to be huge for Rutgers.
Yeah, Sayonara is on the wrong side of the map to steal this right now. He's got nowhere to go. Best Kennen is just going to TP in here. And this is what team fights look like when Rutgers is not tower diving. They get the great Gnar initiation there, flashing in to hit Tempo against the wall, follow that up with Beautiful Korean diving to finish him off. And then after that, we just saw kind of the gold difference factor in majorly there. Gated kind of just walked up to One Dog, One Dream, trying to get that isolated duel. And One Dog, One Dream was just able to win that 1v1 straight. He's further ahead. Janna at this point is going to buff up the AD a little bit better than Lulu. And that's just the state of the game, honestly. If Rutgers gets a clean 5v5 initiation that isn't under tower, they are going to win.
Yeah, it just showed right there.
They saw that in full force.
Yeah, they're now finally ahead in the kills now, too. They're catching up on Dragons, and 10k goal lead going in favor of Rutgers, and this just shows that kills don't mean anything in these games. And Rutgers played this like almost perfectly. They had a few missteps that looked really bad, like the outcomes of it, of what I mean. But their map play and their micro of this game has just been perfect. I feel like they've been able to play this game extremely well. They're gonna get another tower now here on the bot side. They're pushing mid as well, and this is just looking pretty tough for Penn State. They've been winning a few of these team fights, but once they finally lost one big one, Rutgers is able to take so much off the map.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they just honestly outpicked Penn State right here and then executed that comp in a controlled manner. We did see Beautiful Korean have to burn Flash a couple times in the early game, give up first blood because of a bit of over-aggression in the win condition to keep Sayonara down in his jungle, which was really, Beautiful Korean's only option with 3 hard shoving lanes, and it's the right thing to do. A little bit on the micro end, maybe mispositioning. And I honestly just feel like a little bit unlucky getting checked at Krugs. Who does that at like 3 minutes into the game, losing his flash? Nonetheless, other than that, it's been very clean. We saw 3 towers go down, traded for the Infernal Drake. In about 2 minutes span, I think those 3 towers went down, and that just gave them the huge gold lead which they've sat on for most of this game. And other than the 1 tower dive, that was really their 1 major misstep. It's been very clean, controlled. They haven't really gone too aggressive until the Best Kennen flash ult to start off a fight, which was the right time to do that. And now they're just 3 lanes pushing in with Baron, trying to break down this inhibitor wall, nice and easy without any fighting at all.
And the thing that Penn State's doing is they were trying to stay spread out. They're not. A lot of teams you'll see in this case, they'll just give up 1 tower and feel like, okay, we weren't able to defend that, let's defend the other 2. But it looks like here that they're just going to defeat all of the inhibitor towers, so they're all going to go down, and now they're going to get inhibitors as well. This could have been defended a little bit better than by Penn State, as they're really just giving a lot of stuff up. Sayonara trying for a very desperate engage here. They're going to be able to find the ultimate on to One Dog, One Dream, but they're not going to be able to find the engage on him, as everyone's going to have to back off, and this is looking extremely good for Rutgers as they're now going to decide to fight. Best Kennen able to get a great ultimate there, as Sayonara is going to drop, actually just get into his blob form, but that is going to be a dead jungler very soon. Top lane dropped, ADC dropped a while ago, and Rutgers just playing this game beautifully is going to be able to take game 1, I feel like, unless Tempo and Junrei here is going to be able to make an unbelievable play. But Tempo going to get destroyed there, thrown back into his own base. He's going to be alive, but that's not going to be, or that's going to be it there for Penn State, as Rutgers played this game beautifully, and they're going to take game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super clean. Let's say 90% clean. Outpicked, I think, a fair bit to start things off. Just honestly, I think this is a well-coached team from what I can see. And, that sort of thing, that the game knowledge, the coaching mattered way more than any individual micro outplays. Like, as far as I can see, most of these players were pretty evenly matched. It's just compositionally and the way they played the map, Rutgers outshone Penn State.
Yeah, Rutgers really showed their experience here, and especially in their macro plays. They played the map beautifully. Like you said, they won picks and bans. They were able to realize what their strong points was and what Penn State's weak point was, and really take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nautilus is a bit of a weird pick for me. It could be a comfort pick for Dog Brain. It's one that isn't huge in the meta right now, and obviously we saw into Gnar is a very serious struggle. Maybe even more than the average tank struggles. Someone like Shen can do okay against Gnar and is a much more meta pick with his general map pressure. And then but in general, the big thing was picking 3 lanes that get shoved in, and then a tank jungler like Zach, who can get abused in the early game especially when matched against a Rek'Sai, who is kind of the queen of that early game map control. And aggressive invades and all of that. So just a compositional mismatch that I don't know if there was much Penn State could have done to really win that game by the time they got in there, other than a little bit smarter to try to maybe bait in tower dives, because that was really the big thing. Is Rutgers were their own worst enemy when they went super hyphy. And yeah, it was rough. So you can't pick 3 lanes that get shoved in like that and a tank jungler. They have to reevaluate in the next champ select, get something a little bit cleaner, get something with some pressure somewhere on the map, somewhere to support Sayonara. And that would be, honestly, probably enough to get back in this series, because I don't think we saw any clear mismatches between the players. I think these are all pretty good players. Just compositionally, PSU did not do great.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how Penn State is going to use this break to their advantage. Will they come up with a better pick and ban strategy, or is Rutgers going to be able to just push them under tower and do the exact same things that we saw in game 1? So we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back for game 2 between Penn State and Rutgers, and this is do or die for Penn State. If they don't want to go down 0-1 after the first week, they're going to have to win this next game. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. And we are back for game 2 between Rutgers and Penn State. Rutgers was able to play the first game very well. We said almost 90% perfect, playing great macro play, winning the picks and bans, and we'll have to see if Penn State could come back in this second game. If you guys missed the first one, my name is Rudy. I'm joined here by still my favorite Canadian, Doug. How's it going?
Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice of you.
I know like 3 Canadians, but still, you're my favorite.
I'll take it. I'm not complaining. You're one of my favorite PSU alums.
Thanks. I don't think
there's a lot of them, man.
Is there?
It's a big school.
Okay.
I don't know. Look, best Kennen A is not going to get Kennen. That much we can say. I am interested by the Shaco ban. When you have a Shaco player on the enemy team, it is just one of those champions who plays so differently from other junglers that it's like, if you're not super prepared for it, it can destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful Korean. Not getting Shaco, which not too surprising. But what I'm really looking for from PSU this time is just have at least one winning lane, please. Preferably get a better top matchup. Okay, and as I say that, Ornn is locked in, so forget it. Nope. Get winning top matchup off the table. So win other lanes, Get a strong bot lane, and then, a good mid lane. Orianna would be a good start. It's not a clear lane winner, but she doesn't really have too many bad matchups, certainly. And with the right sort of pressure around her and a winning bot lane, for instance, she can be a very, very effective pick.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is that this is taking it away from Shrew as well. Shrew is a really big Orianna player, so the fact that she's not going to be able to be played by Shrew is going to be massive. Now, Sayonara picking the Skarner, that's something I didn't expect.
No, it's one that's come in a bit in favor recently since his buff. Emax Skarner is actually pretty strong, a pretty decent duelist, a good late game initiator with his ultimate, assuming too many QSSs don't come in. And just good map pressure and potential team fighting if they fight in his Skarner crystal area. It's not too bad. It's seen a big resurgence. Primarily Predator, I think, is the big keystone that people love. So you just run extra super fast directly at them to try to grab someone, maybe get a Righteous Glory as well. I've seen some people go Righteous Glory and Talisman of Ascension. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. That's a little bit maybe too fast. All right, you don't want to burn up re-entering the atmosphere or anything. But yeah, it's a fun pick. And then Cho'Gath in the top lane. This is one that doesn't lose too many lanes. He can probably hold his own against Ornn and then become that super late game tank with that crazy upfront burst damage. So it's not a terrible pick, but it is still abusable a bit more on the early side, especially, again, beautiful Korean on Rek'Sai. A champion that controls the map so well to start. But Skarner's a bit better in the early game than Zac is, so they should be a little bit better off, especially with Orianna in the mid lane already. A bit of a stronger matchup versus Azir than Azir versus Aurelion Sol. So
yeah, and with
we'll see now.
With bot lane still yet to pick, I'm seeing a lot of support bans here. We're seeing a Lulu as well as a Braum and now a Janna. So it looks like they're going to try to stretch these support pools as much as they can. I'm kind of surprised that there's no ADC bans. Now Penn State, they're going to have their choice. They get to pick whatever ADC that they're going to want. And this is going to make Rutgers feel like, maybe we should ban Tristan and maybe we should take out the Kog'Maw because Gated did play really well in that champion. We'll have to see what they're going to decide to ban here for the last one. And it's going to be the Rakan. So just 4 support bans for these last 4. And now this gives a big moment to Penn State. Are they going to pick up a priority ADC or do they have to take a support here because, the pool is very stretched thin?
The big one that got through for the supports is that Tahm Kench. I'm really interested if that's what's picked. It's going to be Gated locking in Nami for Junra. Not a super high priority support at this point in time. Certainly very strong. And they do give the Vaynover, who is basically a solo queue god right now, maybe a little bit lower on the tier in competitive play because she is somewhat abusable. But someone like a Vayne Zillion is a crazy late game lane. With honestly is not even that bad in lane these days. Vayne starts to get better nice and early, and Karma would give her a much better laning phase. But I don't know. I should stop talking about hovers But Tahm
Yeah.
Kench, I'm not surprised. He is like the big one in Korea. I think 100% pick ban in Korea right now. Kind of the support out of nowhere in the new meta. Just adds so much safety to your laning phase, and even the later game where someone tries to if Skarner ults someone on your team next to a Tahm Kench just eats them.
Yeah.
You're done. Like, that's Skarner ult off the table. Cho'Gath tries to run up on you, just eat him. Maybe toss him away, a few feet away from Cho'Gath. It removes options like Leona and Thresh altogether. I mean, they'd already picked the Nami pick, but there's just so many reasons why Tahm Kench is so great right now. And to have that, in combination with someone like a Vayne is pretty significant. And gated, grab Tristana, another classic. 80 carry, super safe. Reset, snowballs hard in team fights if she gets the right situation. So good pushing power as well. So Nami Trist is a much stronger lane for PSU than they had last time, with the Tristan on their side. So compositionally, they're better off, I think, right now. Skarner Orianna is a good initiation kind of front line. Again, Tahm Kench puts a little bit of a damper on that. I'm concerned about, once we get into that team fighting phase, if Sayonara will ever really be able to find a clean ultimate running through Azir. He's taking Ghost, so there's no flash on the table, unless he has Summoner Spellbook. I can switch to flash late game. So running through Azir wall, getting, surprising the Tahm Kench player, and maybe picking off Tahm Kench himself is going to be very tricky to get those late game ultimates, but they should be much better in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they're gonna have to play around Tahm Kench quite a bit. They're gonna have to make sure that they have some sort of CC on him when they're trying to get somebody up, maybe a knockup from Nami or a knockup from Cho'Gath, to try to pick someone away from that Tahm Kench. Now, one thing that's going to be a really weird interaction if Tahm Kench devours somebody and then you ultimate the Tahm Kench. I believe the devoured target is still able to leave whenever they want.
I would think so.
But it would be definitely an interesting interaction. But we'll have to see how much Sayonara is going to be able to play around that Tahm Kench, because that's one of the things that's pretty surprising is that they picked this Skarner very early. Obviously, if you're picking in the first round, it's a priority pick. You want it. You have ideas how you want to play around it and with it. But then you're leaving up champions. I see the Lulu. I see the Janna ban, but I don't understand why leaving up Tahm Kench, because that's just a complete shutdown of one of your main strats here.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I think is higher priority in competitive play like LCS, LCK than solo queue, just because he's not the most exciting laner to play with. You pretty much just sit there and press Q until the other team gets aggressive. But yeah, one thing I do know from my experience trolling people in ARAMs, if you eat someone as Tahm Kench, flash in, and then stopwatch, they will still get kicked out of your mouth, while you're still
I'm not
golden.
surprised that you know that interaction. Not at all. Like,
it was very specific, wasn't it?
yes, and
it wasn't just if you
surprise.
stopwatch while having someone in your mouth. It's if
Now
you
you had to
flash
flash
into
as
the
well.
enemy team, then stopwatch. They still get kicked out of your mouth while you're golden.
And from what I could tell from these summoner spells, it's a little different than last time. This time, Gated does have that ghost, or not the ghost, but the heal as well. So he's not going with barrier this time. So he's going to be able to have that heal at his disposal and not at the support. So very standard down the line. But this top lane matchup, the Ornn versus the Cho'Gath, this is going to be the one that I'm going to pay most attention to, just because of how strong Ornn is in the meta right now. I feel like Cho'Gath is going to be a good person to play against it. Someone who's going to be able to tanky, able to have a big burst enough to kill the Ornn, because that's one of the biggest problems right now, is you get an Ornn low and then he just has so many ways to shield up or keep walking without being CC. There's a lot of ways to get out of a sticky situation, but I feel like Cho'Gath is going to be a good champion in order to duel with that Ornn.
I think, it's not bad. He has the innate sustain, and Ornn, the W can be very obnoxious in the poke game. But between his E being more consistent poke and not, contained all in like one burst situation that can just be completely shielded by Bellows Breath. And then, just the innate sustain of Cho'Gath's passive, again, just to push the wave, auto attack minions, heal up, get extra mana. It's a much better matchup than last time, which is why I'm What did you
Skarner.
see?
I saw Skarner with the Unsealed Spellbook. This is
Okay,
going to
I'm
have
not
some
surprised.
interesting things. Yeah, when Ghost and Flash are both very good on Skarner, I am not surprised that he's going to be able to want to switch those in and out throughout the game. So,
Especially against something like an Azir, who can shut you down so hard if you just try the old run at them strat. Going for the flash to go over the wall or surprise them, catch them off guard, getting that late game, and just more flashes. It's pretty straightforward. More flashes late game is super crucial for someone like Skarner, who is basically so binary. We could get someone getting caught out a little bit, but they don't have a lot of level 1 CC. So just Junray going to get the ward down and actually survives.
yeah, there's really
Level 1 goes to PSU.
There's going to be not a lot of kill pressure there coming out of Rutgers, unless you're going to see a knockup come out from the Rex side, but still, that's not what you really want to start going into level 1 as a Rex side, so there's not really all too much that you're going to be able to see happen at this point. Now, if that was on the other way around, I think Penn State would have had a little bit of a better opportunity, especially with the Cho'Gath and Orion. I think they would have been a little bit better off, but yeah, neither of these teams are going to have, they don't have, the Blitzcrank level 1, or they don't have anything massive like that, so we're just going to see them play this line of scrimmage that you see quite often, and try to figure out where the other one's going. But looks like both are going to start blue.
Yeah, once again, really, I am looking probably to start this game at this top lane. We do need to see a better performance from Dogbrain, because so much of the troubles that arise last game was specifically best Kennen and A versus Dogbrain, and I am still attributing a lot of that to the matchup, which I think relies a lot on jungle pressure, and we're going to get a level 1 bush camp here.
I love this from One Dog and Ray here. They're going to go on it. Junray going to be taken very low. Is the Devour available? No, but Sayonara's already here. That could have been actually pretty bad for Rutgers if Sayonara was able to get in range there.
I'm a little bit surprised they didn't pull the trigger on that, drop the Ghost. It's a low cooldown summoner spell. And they could have got some CC, maybe burned a flash, but chooses not to. Level 1 trading going in favor of Dogbrain right now, putting that Cho'Gath to good work.
Yeah, and the sustain on the top side is going to favor Dogbrain as well. Yes, Orin does have the Corruption Potion over just the pots that Dogbrain does have, but actually the level 2 goes in favor of Best Kennen. Will Dogbrain able to get it out in time? The flash comes through, but the auto attack coming afterwards. Best Kennen NA able to get first blood there, and like you said, top side was going to be very important for here, and Rutgers gets the first blood.
Yeah, and that's concerning to me because it's not only the first blood, but it's the first blood on kind of the basic lane play. Get level 2 first and win. At this level, you really should be anticipating those level 2s coming out and backing off. Count those minions. So I know we got a gank bot.
That was an amazing knock up there by Beautiful Korean, as is forcing the flash out from Gated, as well as Junray. So
and the exhaust.
Massive right here.
Wait, no, I guess the heal and exhaust would have probably been burned in that level 1, earlier, sorry. Yes. But now they have no summoner spells. Both flashes are gone.
Sayonara coming to the top side. There's no flash there on Best Kennen. The stun's going to land, but it isn't going to be enough. Great knock-up. CC chain being perfect. Can they finalize the kill there? They're going to be able to get it. Sayonara, though, gets the equalizer on the top side, and maybe Best Kennen should have backed a little bit earlier. We saw the same thing happen in the first game, but Beautiful Korean bot side. Great knock-up coming out from Junray. Going to stop the engage there, but that's going to force Gated back. A lot of action this game going on, but still just 1-for-1 in kills, and gold is dead even.
Yeah, but they don't need to get a kill in that bot lane play. Just keep focusing that right now. This is a summoner-less bot lane. And you got everything up for your bot lane, and it's a Vayne Tristana matchup. If you get Vayne ahead in this situation, it's going to be so massive for the future. A good play there in the top lane by Sayonara and Dogbrain to layer the CC, so it couldn't all be Bellows' breath away. Didn't enable them to get the kill on the flashless Best Kennen and A. But honestly, that pressure bot lane, despite not getting a kill, is still going to be massive. You can see 13 CS lead picked up, and the lane is now frozen somewhat in favor of Rutgers right now. So that is just a massive advantage here for that Rutgers bot lane. And this is the lane you want to work through right now. Vayne versus Tristana. One of these two are probably going to carry this game, and you want it to be your guy.
We do see Sayonara trying to make plays in the mid lane, but Shrew playing very safe here, not going to be able to find an easy jump there. And Tempo Going to watch out. He does have the heal in case anything gets too risky, but a great gank here coming out from beautiful Korean. Junray's going to be the one jumped on. Is it going to be enough? The stun's going to land, and that's going to be One Dog, One Dream picking up the kill. Beautiful Korean, like you said, just showing up at this summonerless bot lane, and they were going to get another kill there, and this one's going on the Vayne.
Yeah, that gank path from Rek'Sai is so obnoxious. So he's able to tunnel in from, or she's able to tunnel in from your own jungle. And get behind you in that lane, despite the fact you're basically already under tower. A great bubble there, honestly, from Junray to almost save the day, but the complete summoner spell disparity there allowed Dog Dream to flash in and pick up that kill just as the exhaust and heal were set to come up. So finally capitalizing on that in terms of a kill, but again, the CS is almost more critical right now. 20 CS lead for One Dog, One Dream.
Nice
I understand that play for best Ken in A. It's just funny looking.
Just the head smash into the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's completely understandable. Almost worked. Dogbrain actually realized what was happening.
He missed it by half a Teemo, but it's just hilarious to see.
And actually, we see Dogbrain actually winning these trades up pretty well in his favor, and he really backed, and all he got was a Ruby Crystal. So kind of surprising in all honesty, and this is when Best Ken is actually going to decide to back, because once he got 6, he is going to stay in lane though, because I thought he would want to try to push that level advantage a little bit.
Yeah, it's Cho'Gath, as built-in sustain. I think he has Grasp in the Undying, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they both should, but still a little bit more sustain, obviously going towards Dogbrain. And Emax is strong for those trading against melee champions, so it is a good matchup for Cho'Gath. Oh, he could have gone too far.
Yeah, that's a nice couple of knockups there. Dogbrain able to get the kill. Perfect knockup while under tower. And that is why a lot of times you'll see a lot of Ornn players hold on to their unstoppable that they have in their flame breath, just so that they could get out of sticky situations like that. And when you take 2 tower shots at level 6, you're most likely going to lose that 1v1.
I always wonder, like, things like this, if the psychology of the last game comes in here, where Best Ken in A just stomped Dogbrain, and if he's like, oh man, this guy's trash, I can easily take this tower dive, and then just feeds a free kill in a more even champion matchup. I wonder how much that plays into it. Maybe it's just a bad play and he would have made that no matter what. But obviously, too aggressive, taking 2 tower hits is generally not how you win a 1v1. And Dogbrain's looking much stronger so far in this game, and 800 gold difference is not too bad considering how bad the bot lane is going right now for PSU.
Yeah, it's actually, you'd expect it to be a lot higher, because in the bot lane difference in itself is that 800 gold. So throughout the rest of the map, it's relatively even. It's now at around 1,000, so it's about a 200 difference. But yeah, we're gonna have to see what's going to happen down the bot lane, as Gated has been relatively starved here at this point, trying to get as much extra gold as he can from that call. And yeah, that's really the only item he has at this point. So the one thing I like about Cull now is it did get a little bit of an upgrade because of Overheal, but besides that, it's not really too much of an upgrade.
I don't know, 3 life on hit, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah,
but
still.
Yeah, getting the full Targon's Brace at this point is, with that call, is like the super defensive, I'm not winning this lane anymore build, which is obviously correct. That is the correct assessment. They're not going to win this lane at this point, but it does give a lot of pressure over, and a free farming Vayne is a little bit of a scary concept, especially when, if Sayonara isn't able to get those clean initiations, they don't have a lot to keep One Dog, One Dream in place. Cho'Gath, he has great burst, but, he's got to get there through the knockback of Vayne, the wall of Shrew. There's enough peel here to keep One Dog, One Dream alive against this composition, assuming Sayonara doesn't get, a good flash ultimate.
And we're going to see now, it's going to be the Infernal Drake here coming out for Rutgers, and Penn State either doesn't know that it's happening or is just giving it up at this point. They feel like they're not able to fight it, and that is going to go over to them, and an Infernal Drake onto Vayne is pretty scary.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not what you want to see, necessarily. Especially, Azir as well, someone who obviously makes good use of ability power. Not, Vigar or Jhin by any means, but they're up there.
Yeah. So that's something we'll have to keep in mind. The Infernal Drakes for Penn State really didn't help them win that game. Best Cannon still just going on a Dogbrain. He has the minion advantage at this point. So luckily Dogbrain realizing this, not going to go in.
Here we go.
Here comes the gank. The Junray bubble is not going to land as he did it a little too early. So the ultimate for the Flash, very in favor for Rutgers there, as this is now going to be good tower pressure for them as this Nami is flashless.
Yeah, they used 2 ultimates there as well as, you know, the pressure, the time from Beautiful Korean. It was a lot burned to get a flash from the support. In a lane they're already winning. They should probably be able to get more than that when they use that many resources. But, you know, it could be an investment. You know, John Ray could be in trouble down the line, but now that he's level 6, has that tidal wave to keep him safe. I'm wondering how effective a revisit will really be at this situation when they're pushing under tower 24/7.
And one thing to keep in mind is this gold lead that was in the bot side is starting to equal out. Since we saw it was an 800 gold lead, now it's only a 600 gold lead, which still a gold lead going in favor of One Dog One Dream. But Gated is now no longer like not doing any damage. He's going to be able to start to duel with the rest of this bot lane. So
hey,
it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Sorry, I was just looking at the gold right now. Riot is finally able to put negative numbers in the display.
They are.
It used to be 4 billion when you went into debt.
Well then, that's
some underflow errors coming into play.
So now we know the
Still
max
can't
amount
give
of
us the
gold you
keystones
get.
back. They briefly, for like 2 weeks, had keystones in the in-game spectate client. Now it's gone. I don't know why.
Huh, very interesting. But we're going to see a little bit of a duel down here as Dogbrain not able to dodge the ultimate from the Ornn, but he does have that burst that Ornn is watching out for, but can't best get the kill. Dogbrain looks like he's worse for wear, so he's going to back off of that. He really wanted to try to go in there with the ultimate, but just didn't find a good opportunity to. Ornn still with quite a bit of health. And Dogbrain, is he going to stick around to protect his tower? He might try, but he has to watch out that he's going to get knocked up. He is going to. Is the ultimate going to be enough? I don't know. Ornn is going to be able to live there. Barely we see the health bar at the side there. And that's going to be a 1v1 this time for the Ornn. You're going to see Sayonara going and jumped on, but he does have help from his support. But the rest of the bot lane coming up as well. This might be just a 3-on-3 fight. Gated's going to be the one getting jumped on. Nice ultimate coming out from Junray, but it's not going to be enough for anything. They're still fighting over this jungle pressure as Tempo was able to make it down. Shrew not anywhere nearby, so that would have been a pure 4v3. But as I say that, I didn't realize that Best Ken and NA did teleport down as well, so that is why everybody backed off.
Yeah, a super early ultimate there coming up from Sayonara. You know, typical Skarner mechanics are to stack up the passive and then get that stun and lead that into the ultimate, especially when no one was there to immediately jump on to Beautiful Korean and put that damage in. I guess a super defensive ultimate. The tidal wave coming out as well, just to keep them alive. But I think they were in a stronger position than maybe he thought at the time, with Gated and Junray immediately collapsing.
Now the teleport actually going to come in from Penn State, and this time Best Ken and NA is still in the area, so this will be a straight up fight. No one will have an advantage. As
no righteous glory though.
Will it be enough in order to do anything? We're going to see Beautiful Korean going the deep, but great job by Ray there to get him out of range. Junray there going to be the first one death, and Sayonara going to be able to survive. Never mind, Beautiful Korean does come in, but it's going to cost him his own life. But this is looking really good for Rutgers as they're able to take 2 so far, but the Cho'Gath knockup going to do quite a bit. Gated, did he overstep a little bit? He's being taken down. Tempo being the first one to die. Gated might be next. Can he survive? No, he won't be able to, as that's now 4 kills that went over to Rutgers. As Penn State, they only got the 1. So now Rutgers doing what they did last game, taking the towers as well.
Yeah, this is a righteous gloryless Cho'Gath teleporting in when they don't have tidal wave, they don't have Skarner ultimate. Even Dogbrain didn't have feast. They were so low on the resources right there to try to make that collapse. It was honestly a pretty crazy play. Best Ken and NA was still in the area. I don't know if they had vision of that to know that for sure. I assume not. But still, ultimately, they did not have the tools to actually close in on anything and lock anyone down against, again, Azir, Vayne, Tom Kench. So tricky to lock these guys down and force a fight if you don't have all of the tools at your disposal. Just a questionable play for me. And one thing I'm interested in, apparently Sayonara has Hex Flash, which that is really tricky on Skarner to pull off, getting those angles.
So he went with Unsealed Spellbook and Hex Flash, so he's going really just all in on
kind of a counter synergy there, almost.
Yeah, like that's one thing I was thinking of, is that if he ever switches back to Ghost or anything like that, it's just not going to be really all that useful. I guess, though, when you're switching, you still have Hex Flash. So he started out with Ghost, went to Flash, and while Flash was on cooldown, he had that Hex Flash.
Yeah, I think that's why he immediately switched from Ghost to Flash after he ghosted. I did question that a little bit because it was just put on cooldown, but that does make sense. Still, yeah, I mean, you get Hex Flash to, you know, fill in the gaps between your flashes, and you get Unsealed Spellbook, so there just is less gaps between your flashes. Seems like a lower value keystone, especially. Skarner is not like Alistar, where you flash, and then you have like a ranged gap closer with that headbutt combo, or, you know, the hook. You gotta flash on top of them with Hex Flash, which I can't imagine is too easy, but they're going in.
Yes, and the ultimate from Sayonara is still available. He waited, and perfect timing as 1-1 champ is going to be forced there to use a stopwatch, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Try and do what he can. He actually might be able to get a kill there. Sayonara going to drop, as that's going to be a pure 1v1 trade in the 3v2 as Dogbrain in the top, or the bot side here. Nice knockup to make sure that Best Cannonade couldn't get that ultimate prop, but Best Cannonade going really deep here, going to drop from the tower shots, as Dogbrain gets another 1v1, going back and forth. So next time we watch these guys fight, I'm sure that Best Kennen will win that one. And top side, the push is still going to go pretty strong here for Rutgers, but overall, that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Penn State.
Yeah, that was a bit of an honest panic W, I think, the Devour there from Reizu, coming in before Sayonara ulted One Dog, One Dream. They were still able to turn around and get the 1-for-1 trade there, and then the collapse from Shrew meant they couldn't go any further on Reizu. But yeah, Best Cannonade has a little bit of issues respecting towers, apparently. So, tone it down a little. Once again, I feel like I said this a lot for Rutgers. Don't go crazy. You're winning the game. You're getting the objectives. You don't need to dive towers every 3 seconds. That's all. But yeah, Reizu, you know, you can wait for that Skarner ultimate to come out, because he's not going to be able to make a massive distance disparity after getting that ultimate, because he usually flashes in. I don't even think you're allowed to flash out once you've ultimated, so you have that moment to eat him. You don't need to panic in that situation. I am curious to see if this Null Magic Mantle will be a QSS, because that is Tom Kench is the only support who builds QSS, just to absolutely ensure he is there to eat someone. You can't, you know, chain CC him and then your target of choice. It could be something more classic, like a Locket at this point in time. We shall see.
We shall indeed, as I think it's going to be a Locket most likely first. QSS is usually later on. But Sayonara are going to get jumped on here by Beautiful Korean as well as Reiju, but he does have backup from Tempo. But that's going to be the Ghost to use. Now, he could just use the Unsealed Spellbook to get his Hex Flash back, so he's going to be very liberal with those and just use them whenever he can. But top side, this fight, going back and forth, as we are going to see the Rift Arrow being used right away. And that's just going to finish up that very low tower that was in the mid lane. And that's really all. I feel like they could have got a little bit better off with that Rift Arrow, but maybe they just really wanted that burst of gold now. And we'll have to see if they're able to do much else. But now Penn State defending fairly well here. Dogbrain, though, has to watch out. He is getting fairly low. As they're actually going to jump onto Shrew here. That's a lot of damage going in, but not enough to really kill him. He has the Sun Disc to protect him as well. So nothing too much coming down. And Rutgers at this point, they do have 3 towers right now and a 5k gold lead, so they're still looking really good at this point.
Yeah.
As they have
a gold lead this, or a kill lead this time too, which is something they're adding. They're improving on the whole. This game, I think, comes down a bit more to execution. It's not, you know, clearly that compositional mismatch. We saw Beautiful Korean just put so much work in on bot lane, which is where the gold lead is right now. 1,600 gold lead in that AD position right now, being the major difference. But even then, just Shrew versus Tempo, he's kind of just built himself a small 800 gold lead without too much action really happening mid lane at all. That's just response around the map coming in favor of Rutgers at the moment.
Yeah, best
now, this is an interesting gank.
Yeah, he's going to try to get away from this now, but the ultimate from Skarner is still available. He does have the W up. Will he be able to time it perfectly to get out of here? But he's kind of winning this trade. Look how much damage Sayonara is taking. Tempo, too busy taking blue. I think they should be fine. They should be able to take this kill, but Sayonara does have to watch out for his damage.
I'm not so sure.
That was a lot of damage that Orn was able to do. So he put 2 members of Penn State extremely low. Now, while this was happening, I'm not sure what the rest of Rutgers was doing, but Orn did finally drop, but it took them so long to get him.
Yeah, right now they are positioning around Baron. This could just be literally positioning around it, getting control, trying to bait something in. I don't think they would be willing to start it without Best Ken and NA actually being alive. Maybe once he's alive, he could TP in. But yeah, they're just going to try to bait it. Camp a brush. But Beautiful Korean's even just going to go farm. So not going to commit too hard on this. They're just going to accept that Best Ken and NA was a little bit overextended and they weren't ready to capitalize on that play. But they don't lose much either. It's some gold in Dogbrain and Sayonara's pocket. They're still looking pretty good. No towers picked up. And they're able to defend this mid push.
Yeah, and actually, they're not only able to just defend, they're poking out pretty hard. Tempo took a lot of damage there. But, well, to see if they're not backing as I thought they were. They're going to continue this pressure that they have built up here. Penn State probably thinks that they are a little farther back than they actually are. They realize, hey, we're down 2 kills, 2 dragons, and a bunch of towers. It is less than 4K, which is kind of surprising to me, especially last time we saw 5K for the majority of the time when Penn State had that kill lead.
The kill lead, yeah.
And it's looking like Rutgers this time trying to play it a little bit more slowly than they did last time. Best Ken and might be caught out again, but he is Orn. He's able to take quite a bit of harassment, but Sayonara is not able to. As he's extremely low, he just gets dropped there. Never used the ultimate, never used anything there as he's going to die. Now, Orn is being really low as well. Best Ken and NA probably going to go down. Great knockup by Beautiful Korean. Going to keep him alive until the ultimate and Flash comes out from the Tristan. And now Beautiful Korean in the wrong area as well. That's going to be gated going deep at this point. But now here comes One Dog, One Dream. Can he 1v3? He has Reiju now and Shrew on the other side as they're going to be able to clean up this fight. The rest of Penn State, they took too long killing the tanks of the team. It shows that as Rutgers comes in and just sweeps them with the ace. This is looking really good for Rutgers now as they're going to get another Mountain Drake.
Yeah, that was basically, they trade tanks first. Best Ken and NA, Dogbrain both went in to the back lines to try to do as much as they could. But once that finished up, they just had more in their pockets. One Dog, One Dream with that ultimate available. The final hour could dive in, pick up the kill into gated, and then clean up the rest. And yeah, it's just, they're getting a pick here, but it's on to Best Ken and NA. They are so focused on trying to kill him. But he almost has his Warmogs complete. He already has the Abyssal Mask with Ninja Tabby. He's not going to go down super quickly. And he's going to do some damage along the way. Just Orn being able to just breathe on people, get extra tanky, put out some AoE damage. And there's no Trinity Force here from Sayonara. He just has the Cinder Hulk without any other health item to really buff up. So he's, you know, not looking too strong at this point in time. Beautiful Korean has that Cinder Hulk, but also the full, what's Hydra item, Titanic Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, we look at One Dog, One Dream versus Gated. At that time, Gated did not have his Infinity Edge completed, I'm pretty sure. And One Dog, One Dream just finished up his 3rd item, with a 2nd attack speed item coming in. It's a pretty big mismatch right now in the damage and the tankiness that they just cannot afford to focus Best Ken and NA.
Yeah, he's just too tanky at this point. That's exactly what Orn does. And as you even seen the matchup there, actually, never mind, as Baron is being taken down so fast here, and they're just realizing it now, as that's going to be a nice steal there coming out from Rutgers, as Tempo's going to get jumped on, forced to use the stop block, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to drop as the Orn ultimate going to land on multiple people there. Sayonara might be the next one to get jumped on, but Dogbrain is not looking too well on that either. Tries to jump on Shrew, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to get destroyed there, as that's a Baron and 2 kills going in favor of Rutgers. Nice little sneak play there coming out from the blue side here, as they're going to get so much off of this, and this is now going to get into about 5 digits now for a goal lead, and Inhibitor probably not long for this world.
Yeah, Rutgers with the nice, clean call there.
Oh.
It was just decisive. Ooh. They went for the Baron. We saw Dogbrain teleport a bit away from the pit, meaning Tempo was the one. I don't think this is going to matter for Sayonara. No, Beautiful Korean's going to pick it up. But Tempo was the one face-checking that, leading the way. That's the Oriana. That's not your front line. Dogbrain and Sayonara were both behind. Means they're going to lose kills, they lose the Baron, and they're just going to lose the game at this point. This should be the series for Rutgers.
Rutgers going to go up 1-0 in BTN as Penn State in their debut going to lose this one 0-2 as Rutgers now finalizes it. That's going to be the good games coming out. Rutgers, they have a great start to their season here as Penn State's first game is going to end up in a loss.
Yep. This one, you know, took a bit more than 10 minutes to be a clearly decisive one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Beautiful Korean. I do believe I recognize that name from High Elo streams. I believe he's one of the guys who are up there on those ladders regularly. Playing Shaco, I believe that sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Once I saw the Shaco ban, it sounded like something that I may have remembered. But, you know, he really did put in a lot of effort. From level 1, 3 ganks, I think, before 4 minutes. Bot lane to just basically break that game open. We see 3,000 gold difference between One Dog, One Dream, gated, brought to you by the Rek'Sai jungle. It was so much work. We saw, you know, Sayonara alternatively went top, which, you know, isn't bad. Like, they got a kill, it worked out, but it's ultimately Cho'Gath versus Ornn. That is a lane that doesn't matter how much gold they have. You know, it would be nice to get Dogbrain a little bit of a lead that he can build off of, but ultimately Beautiful Korean put all the pressure in bot lane, which, you know, Vayne versus Tristana is going to snowball. They had the Tom Kench, which I don't even think they ever needed. Sayonara was never really in a position to get that ultimate off because I think Vayne got so far ahead that if he ever tried to run at them, he would just get 3-shot. Yeah. And yeah, it was just so much good effort put in. And then, you know, Shrew, we didn't really talk about him at all this game, but he's sitting there. Second most gold in the game, 5-0 and 6. Showed up at the right moments. Worked well in team fights, but, you know, nothing happened directly mid lane that game. But it just shows that he is a capable player who can hold his own.
Yeah, and if you're ever wondering out there, why are people saying, oh, Ornn's busted, why is he picked and banned in almost every pro game? Just look at the damage graph here. He is miles ahead of anybody else in this game. And you even saw just from watching, you could even just watch the game. He had amazing amount of CC, he has some escapes, and he just doesn't die. So mix all that together with this high damage. This is why Ornn is a priority pick, and the fact that it got through. I'm trying to think of the bans from Penn State. I remember the Shaco. It was Shaco. Who else was banned?
I can't remember. I'd really have to go back and watch your stream. First cast of 2018 for me, so got to get back in the groove.
For me as well. Yeah, it's been a while.
Just say 2018.
Exactly sure. Yeah, it's been a while.
Sounds less bad.
Does it?
You were great. I don't know. Yeah, unless you want the excuse, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm this good after not casting for 3 years.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, no, it's been forever, man. But
yeah, that's gonna be.
I'm glad to have damage graphs back. You know, if we can't.
I didn't realize that was gone.
No, that was you'd go into a post game damage graph. It would be zeros all the way through.
Interesting.
For like 2 months at the end of 2017.
All right, I don't know what you're doing, but that's going to be it for us for this BTN game. I want to thank Penn State and Rutgers for allowing us to cast. We're glad to cast any games from the BTN series.
It's nice to be back doing college.
I like it.
You know, with my great Canadian knowledge of American colleges.
One day we'll be able to cast a Canadian school. One day. That's the dream.
I mean, we have what? We have, what is it? University of British Columbia? And that's it?
UBC is like the big one.
Is U of T any good?
I think Toronto's pretty good as well. I think those are the two main ones.
I know my schools are never going to be up there, but I'm not too broken up about it.
Well, maybe one day. But anyway, guys, thanks for everyone.
Well, I learned Rutgers was in New Jersey today. I got a little bit of geography lesson.
We usually saw our chat logs before this. It was It was a little.
Yeah, it got a little bit off track.
A lot of
maybe
off
a little
track.
bit of sixth century Saxon history, but
yeah, I learned a lot.
you know,
Even about something from my backyard. But thank you everybody who joined to watching. We had a great turnout today. Hopefully we'll be able to cast more games from either Rutgers or Penn State or both down the line.
I'm down.
Just send me a message. We're always down. Thanks for everybody who followed. Hopefully you guys will be back. Mostly I cast on this channel. I do some D&D stuff as well. I don't stream games too much anymore. Now that I have the time, I might do it more often, but we'll see. It's mostly casting for me though. I would shout out Doug and his social medias, but he doesn't use them. Don't follow him because he doesn't use it.
I am the man of mystery.
But do you still cast over at Upsurge?
I don't know.
You
Maybe?
don't know. Maybe.
I'm not scheduled to. It may come up where it's like, hey, Doug, we desperately need someone.
It'll
I'd be like,
probably come up.
sure.
But so
Yeah,
yeah.
we have a pretty good crew this season. So
That's good to hear. I just wasn't able to do it as often as they needed me, so I sadly couldn't do it.
Lot of casting talent from the Tyler 1 Championship Series.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we already had them. They just.
Well, dang.
Yeah, we got
impressive.
Opal. We got Magical Voice.
Magical voice. He's really fun to listen to. His name fits.
Yeah, they're pretty great. They're both pretty solid. So yeah, we got them. They're usually reliable.
Usually.
Opal comes up with some weird excuses sometimes.
Interesting. I'm curious
Don't worry
at some of
about it.
these.
Anyways,
Thanks everybody
We are
again
off
for
track.
joining. We do this all the time. We always get off track.
we're talking about a completely different league that
Yeah.
neither of us really cast at anymore.
No, I just don't have the time to. Unless I want to like go to work, cast, and just do that for the rest of my life. But sadly,
It's
I'm
not the
able to do
worst
that.
life.
It's not the worst life. It's fun.
Yeah, we should sign off, I guess, before everyone just leaves. Anyways,
So like I said,
we gotta go off top.
We're
Go
gonna,
out on
we're
top.
gonna go. We're gonna leave. If you guys have any more games for us to cast, send me a message on Twitch, on Twitter, or wherever you could find me. I'm usually pretty responsive. Doug, not so much, so don't message him. Just message me, and we'll cast your games in the future. We love it. We love doing it, and it's great to be back in the collegiate scene. We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Night.